All right, let's get into something different. I've been digging into this really fascinating and honestly kind of bizarre philosophical text. And it's one of those things that really just grabs you and makes you question everything you thought you knew about ambition, about success, and even about what it means to be happy. It's a total rejection of that constant pressure to always be doing more. And at the core of this whole thing is this incredible conflict. It's like a debate with a voice that I think we all have inside us. You know that voice? The one that pushes you to strive, to overcome, to climb higher? The text gives it a name, the Nietzschean shadow. It's this fiery, almost ghost-like figure of pure ambition, this echo of a will that wasn't just content to climb, it wanted to dance on the tightrope and command the lightning. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at this shadow of striving. Then, we'll get into a parable called The Climb to Nowhere. After that, we'll unpack the wisdom of sinking and explore the strange idea of the happiness of the grave. And we'll wrap it all up with a final metaphor, the broken clock.
All right, first up, the shadow of striving. And really, this whole thing boils down to a conflict between two ways of being, becoming versus ceasing. And here are the two big ideas, side by side. On the one hand, you've got self-overcoming. That's the shadow's way, right? It's the path we all know, always improve, push your limits, become a better, stronger version of yourself. But then there's this other path, the soothsayer's way, self-undergoing. And it's not about climbing at all. It's about letting yourself sink.
Okay, Section 2, The Climb to Nowhere. This is a parable about just how futile ambition can be. So what's the climber trying to do? Well, it's a goal that probably sounds pretty familiar to a lot of us. First, shed your skin, then surpass the person you used to be, and finally, become something more, become the spirit. It's basically the textbook definition of self-improvement, right? But here's the twist. The soothsayer looks at this and doesn't see transformation. He sees self-destruction. And this quote just hits so hard. It gets right to the heart of the critique. The soothsayer is saying that all this striving, all this peeling back layers of yourself to find some better version, it's a trap. It's not a journey to your true self. It's a process that just strips you of everything you actually are, until all that's left is the painful, empty act of cutting away. So if climbing is a dead end, then what's the alternative? This brings us to Section 3, the wisdom of sinking, where we actually define this radical new idea. So what exactly is self-undergoing? It's a choice. It's a conscious act of just stopping the fight. It means you stop struggling against gravity, you stop trying to conquer the void. You accept ceasing instead of constantly trying to become something else. It's trading this frantic, exhausting climb for the simple acceptance of the end. I mean, wow, this just flips our entire idea of the hero on its head, doesn't it? We always think the hero is the one who struggles and climbs and conquers. But in this philosophy, the real courage, the true heroism, is found in the moment you finally let go. Surrender isn't weakness here. It's actually the ultimate strength. And this question just lays it all out, plain and simple. It frames it as a genuine choice. Why are we so obsessed with overcoming when maybe, just maybe, there's a deeper wisdom in undersinking? Now, it's really important to get this right. This isn't about being negative or just giving up on everything. It's about changing what you say yes to. Instead of that holy yes to the struggle and the climb, you find a holy yes for the abyss. You're affirming stillness. You're affirming gravity. You're affirming the peace that comes with the end of the fight. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds pretty dark, right? But what does it actually feel like? Well, that brings us to Section 4, the happiness of the grave. It's about the strange kind of bliss you can find in just being finished. So we're not talking about the kind of happiness you see in commercials. This is something else entirely. It's a heavy, quiet kind of peace. Think about it. The joy of a broken clock that doesn't have to tick anymore. The bliss of a desert that's finally stopped begging for rain. It's the peace of a stone that's settled at the bottom of the ocean. It's the profound comfort that comes when the race is finally, truly over. And this is the paradox that sits right at the center of it all. I no longer want what I want, therefore I have everything. Think about that. If you give up desire, you can't be disappointed. You have it all, because you want nothing. I no longer seek the light, therefore I am never blind. By stopping that frantic chase for the answer or the light, you can't be blinded by it, or lost when it disappears. It's a really deep thought. All right, our last section brings it all home with one final brilliant metaphor, the broken clock. It's all about the honesty of silence. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. You have the clocksmith, who sees every tick-tock as a holy yes to life, a way to conquer the void. But the soothsayer, he sees something totally different. For him, every tick is just another grain of sand falling from your own grave. It's not a bridge over the abyss. It's a ledger keeping track of your own decline. The clocksmith thinks ticking time is overcoming, but the soothsayer says true healing only happens when the clock finally stops. And what a final line that is! In this way of thinking, being a broken clock isn't a failure. It's the ultimate act of honesty. You've escaped the big lie of endless progress. You've arrived at a place of pure, silent truth. You're not frantically measuring your own exhaustion anymore. You're just being. So that's where this philosophy leaves us, with this really provocative question. Everything in our world tells us to become something more, to keep striving, to never stop overcoming. But maybe, just maybe, that's not where real freedom is. Maybe the ultimate freedom is found in the opposite direction, not in becoming, but in the quiet, honest peace of just being finished.